order. This time, Bryce, I'd like you to come up and lead us in opening prayer, please.
Are you excited?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much for just guiding us here and giving these council people appointed the wisdom that you so have bestowed upon them. Lord, thank you so much for our fire and our police services here in the city that serve us and serve our citizens, Lord. Thank you so much, and it's in your son's name we pray.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Davis, would you please verify the roll?
Ms. Bennett and Mr. Fredericks are absent.
So, okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting? Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the prepared agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is citizens' comments. Citizen comments should be no longer than 3 minutes in length and must pertain to city business. If anyone in the audience would like to address the council. If not, we'll go ahead and move forward. And first is Chief Scarborough.
I don't really have anything to add other than the report I sent you guys. So if you'll have any questions, Miss Hubbard, did you get yours this time?
I did. Thank you.
Since I've been leaving you out. I mean, unless you guys got questions, I don't really have anything other than what I've already sent you.
I liked it that you sent it.
Good. I'll try to give you enough time so you can review it and then have questions for me. So
Did you get to stop it?
we did.
Okay.
Any questions, guys? Okay. Keep it up. See black and whites everywhere, so
They are.
it's good.
Job, Chief.
Know they're busy. Okay, Chief Mark McCullum.
I don't know. Did Jennifer get y'all the email? Okay, I didn't know if she did or not. I didn't know she was out of town till today. Pretty much everything's self-explanatory. The 62 total calls and all that. Moody, we got your bridge washed.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we did do that this afternoon. So we got.
I
that
wondered
done.
what was going on.
That was us.
Okay.
We was taking care of that. We got our truck back, so we decided to go ahead and take care of that problem while I was fresh on my mind. Yeah, it was worse than I thought it was.
lot of grit, a lot of
Yes, sir. It was. Golden Overpass.
Oh,
Yeah. That's about it. And y'all can go over this just as easy as I can. Hazmat stuff, just the normal every month thing. Working. We got some folks in training now. We got them. We're trying to get them through instructor school so we can have some more instructors at the station. So that kind of thing.
Your guys are polite when they come out to do inspections.
I'm sorry.
They're polite when they come out and do the inspections. They're
They
doing a good
better
job.
I told them they better be. They're good though. It's a good bunch of
Polite
guys.
when they come to do the fire inspections for the businesses.
But that's about it.
Everybody have any questions for Chief?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
We
it.
want to thank y'all for coming to the station the other night too.
Okay, Mr. Damon Johnson.
Got a couple, I guess, business items to take care of. First is we took bids in August on our dump trucks. We do 3 lease dump trucks that we keep for, I think we turn them in every 3 years. We run them for 3 years and then turn them back. And essentially, we purchase them with a guaranteed buyback, and then usually the buyback's more than the guarantee. But we took bids. Tri-State Truck Centers has I say we do Mack trucks. We do 3 dump trucks. Tri-State Mack has always been the low bidder. So we run Macks. If another supplier happened to be the low bidder, of course, we would potentially not run Macks. But again, we did get 2 bids this year, but Tri-State Truck Center was the lowest bidder. And so I just really need, I recommend we go with their bid, and we ask for you guys to approve that. Just as any contractual thing that we do. So I'm just kind of putting that before y'all. Hopefully you'll say move ahead and we'll do it.
Make a motion, we go ahead.
All right.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all acceptance for the tri-state bid signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, disapprove, like sign.
All right, good deal. Next thing is at the water treatment plant. As you know, we have Tom on as construction manager at risk, and the way we do that is they give us a guaranteed maximum price for work. Of course, they started in January on the water plant proper, which is north of Cheney Drive, where the water plant's always been. If you drive by there, you see lots of construction going on, and they gave us a guaranteed maximum price for that part of the work as $82.6 million. We did not include in that because the intake structure, because we actually did some value engineering and decided to completely change the pump system that was originally intended to be used, and had to do a redesign, which took about 6 or 8 months. And then we had to get approval from the health department. All those traps have been run. And so now they have come, and now we have a guarantee. We're going to do an amendment to our contract, which was always the intent. We knew that this was happening, and essentially to build the intake structure, to pull the water, the new intake structure, pull the water out of the river, is the guaranteed maximum price is $17,085,000. And so I don't know that I necessarily, we already have a contract with them, and y'all have already passed a resolution to give me the authority to exercise amendments to the contract, so we don't have to, every time we need to adjust something, come to you guys. But this one is in such an order of magnitude that I felt that I needed to inform you of what it is. I don't know that I need a vote from you guys. If you want to vote on it, I'm happy to do that. Just for you to understand the way that price is developed is Tom goes out and essentially advertises for bids, just like, breaks the job up into scopes, like lots of different little small pieces, goes out to those people who do that type of work, and basically gets bids, competitive bids, just like the old system that we used to do it. The difference is they don't necessarily have to pick a low bidder if they're uncomfortable with somebody's bid because they feel like maybe they didn't have all the information right. It's a little more informal than when we take a formal, low bid process here at City Hall. And they can negotiate sometimes if they feel like there's opportunity there. So they worked pretty hard. They spent 3 months, getting bids, working with subcontractors, and to develop this price. So we've gone back and forth, actually, with one of the larger subcontractors, the company that they've chosen to do the work out in the river, and kind of negotiated with them even more to get that price down to what it is today. So I'm just putting it out there. I didn't want to sign a $17 million amendment to the contract without you guys being aware. So if you have any questions or you want to discuss it, it's open to discuss. If you want to look at the bid details, I can get those for you. I just wanted you, I think it's the proper thing. I think it's the right choice, I guess what I'm saying. Olson has, gone over it with me. We've gone over it on our, we've all kind of done our own due diligence on it, and everything seems, of course, things are always more expensive than we want them to, but when we go back and do our homework, nothing seems out of line or worrisome, I guess, as far as pricing goes. So I think it's a fair price. And again, it's a guaranteed maximum price. So that doesn't mean they'll spend that much. So fingers crossed they won't, but that they guarantee that they can do the work and that it will cost no more than that much money. So if they end up spending $18 million, we only pay them 17. There's kind of some give and take there, some opportunity for them through the job process to save money if they can. But then also, a safety net for us where we know the maximum amount it's going to cost. That's basically right at, when we add that $17 million, including the engineering, we're basically right at our $110 million that loan that we have. So we're basically right in the money.
So I guess that was going to be my question. What had we projected versus this 17.085?
Yeah, so we had a $110 million loan approved from Arkansas Natural Resources Division. With the $17 million, that's going to put us right at, and that includes the engineering expense as well. So, that kind of puts us a little closer to the number. I would love to be, have millions of dollars of fluff in our loan, which we don't have. We do have quite a bit of contingency built into the original $82 million contract amount. So we've got some ability to deal with surprises that may come up, which do on large construction projects. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape, really. If something really wild happens and, we have to do $1 million change order for something, we potentially could potentially have to use some of our reserves, which we do have. So it's not that worrisome to me. I really feel like we're in pretty good shape, but we're basically going to use the whole $110 million loan that we had. But we also knew the early estimates for this work was $16 to $18 million. So here we are, and it came in at 70. So really wasn't a big surprise. So, we knew we were going to be pushing the loan amount to its max anyway from the beginning. Any more or other questions about that? If y'all think of something on it, don't hesitate to, ask me. Be happy to help answer anything we can. And then the third item of business that I have is down at wastewater. Even though we are 10 years into a pretty significant wastewater expansion, the constant maintenance and improvements never ends. One thing we did not do when we did the wastewater plant expansion was we continued to use the same aeration system for the ponds. So those it's original from 1982-ish. We did a little bit of maintenance on them at the time. Everything was running well. Pretty significant cost to do the upgrades. We were also trying to conserve that loan money and use the money wisely as we could. And so we needed to use more money out in the system than at the plant. So we didn't do the improvements to the pond aeration system. Well, since that time, over the last 10 years, we're having some pretty significant maintenance issues with piping, and the blowers themselves, like I said, are from the 80s. The electric motors are beginning to need rebuilding quite frequently because of the work that the blowers themselves have become very inefficient. Anyway, so it's time for us to begin some aeration system improvements just on the ponds themselves. The new part of the plan, those aerators are fine and they're relatively new for all practical purposes. So I just wanted to, early in the year, we take proposals from engineering, architectural firms. We do it every year where we advertise in the first part of the year and then just kind of take general, we say we have some water projects, we might have some parks projects, and people who are interested in doing work for us put in proposals, statements of qualifications. And after reviewing the ones that were water and wastewater, of course, I say of course because this is pretty much standard for us, but I've chosen Olson to do an engineering study to determine what repairs need to happen, or I guess I'm going to say I'm recommending that we choose Olson to you guys. I need your approval before I move forward with executing a letter for professional services for that work. We expect to, over the next 6 months, we're going to study the pond, study the aeration, see what needs to be fixed, look at the options, the best options for the repairs, and what proposals those cost, and then they'll kind of develop a report for us. And so, if you have any questions about that, one question you might have is, why do we use Olson repeatedly? And one is they have knowledge, they have historical knowledge of our system. The people we deal with are in Fayetteville. They were a different company before they were Olson who did our work. They have literally decades of engineering documents, archives of work that they've done. They, of course, we've had changeover over time, but as the older people go out and the newer people come in, they come to our plant, they work, they understand. They have the archives as well. They don't have to spend as much time as another company to kind of get up to speed about what we have and don't have here. And just to be honest, I have a tremendous amount of trust in kind of the leadership that I deal with at Olson. So I guess that would be kind of why I choose to pick them frequently. So when we do water or wastewater work, that's where I lean on them.
So Dan, we're looking for.
I am.
Yeah.
If y'all.
I'll make the motion, we'll use Olson.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
All right. Thank you. That is all the business I have. Work continues on both of the big projects. Water treatment plant is probably about a month behind right now on concrete work, where the schedule indicates they should be. Tom has been having some pretty serious meetings with the concrete subcontractor to find avenues where they can catch back up to the schedule. They're not anxious about being a month behind at this point in the project, but I applaud them for not letting it go on without being addressed. And there will be additional crews brought in at some point, whether at the subcontractor's expense or Tom's at some point, to get back on schedules, is what has reported to me, if needed. So they're taking the schedule very serious. They want to be done as soon or before as their projected completion date. So that's good. The parks is on par. If you notice, the event center foundation are being dug and poured, and dirt works being continuing through the park. Once I execute the intake change order or amendment, it's not really a change order, amendment to our water plant contract, they're planning to mobilize on October 1st, on or about October 1st, and begin the work on the intake promptly. So literally within the next 30 days, that work should begin. It will be significant. I mean, there will be lots of work in the river, coffer cells. It's a pretty, you'll understand pretty quickly why it's so expensive to do that work when they have to build coffer dams and work in the river and do some pretty extensive work there. So we are waiting on a proposal for we have a sewer rehab project. We're waiting on a proposal from a company called In Situ Form, which does trenchless technology to repair sewer lines, and we hope to have that in the next couple of weeks and get that executed and get them working very soon this fall on doing that sewer rehab work, which is our last big project for the consent order on the sewer. We're working on our closeout documents that we're going to give to Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality on the consent order, and we hope, I don't know, sometime next year that they will release us from their legal action due to the fact of our, the last 15 years we've spent, in the magnitude of $100 million and made massive improvements and have eliminated hydraulic overflows and have only highest quality discharge into the White River now, which was not the case 15 years ago. So we have done what they asked and, in my opinion, gone above and beyond. So we hope that they will release us once we provide them that information. It's really that's all I've got. Unless there's something that y'all have for me.
Any questions for Damon on any of the projects? Okay. Well, Damon, if you would just stay put, and we're going to move right into the next agenda item. And its agenda is to consider a resolution authorizing Batesville Water Utility in a formal water utility agreement with Cushman. And you want to kind of give an basically an overview of, actually, I know you and I went there a few months ago visiting with the board. I know they've had some challenges with their water system, and of course they're buying 100%, or they're getting 100% of the water that we produce from our plant.
That's right. Yeah. So, so we sell water to Cushman. They're one of our three wholesale customers. Like the mayor said, they buy 100% of the water that they resell from Batesville. It was back in 21. There was a significant freeze period, at which point their water loss became pretty large, large enough where they are unable to, in order to keep their customers in water, they're using more water than they're selling, and they're not essentially they're not able to pay their bill in full every month. We've, of course, worked with them, and kind of with some, getting your water loss under control is not something you can do overnight. Thought there was potential that since there was such an extreme cold event, that maybe there were some big issues that could be resolved. I think as they dug into it, that they determined that they had a pretty big problem. They've continued to work on it with kind of up and down success, I would say. Since then, like the mayor said, we went before their board and kind of just brought them up to speed about kind of the debt that they accrue every month, and that we're just keeping record of it. And at some point, the expectation is that it will be, repaid. That's where the agreement, we then asked Tim, like, hey, we need to codify this in legal documentation, for both parties. This is a long-term problem. It was a long-term in development, and the current board, I would say, takes it very serious and is working hard to resolve the problem that I would say that they more or less inherited. But again, it took a long time for the water loss to get where it is, and it's not something that they will be able to fix short term. I mean, this is a problem that will take decades to resolve properly, unless somebody gives them a huge, tens of millions of dollars overnight. So that's kind of the situation we're in. Tim wrote the agreement. They currently pay as much as they can and still operate, still have money for operations. So, I guess if you have any questions about the agreement or any of the details, I'll do my best to answer them. Some of the details about the contractual stuff Tim might have to answer, but as far as like the water sales and usage, I'll do my best to answer those questions.
So this says they're using 10 million gallons a month?
That's about right. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask a few questions. But first, start by saying, of course, we want to do everything we can to help our neighbor. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Right.
Everything within reason. Obviously, not putting our city or our citizens in jeopardy.
Right.
But we want to help our neighbor. Let me first start by asking about the amount that's owed. If I understood the spreadsheet correctly, we have, for those who don't see this, we have three columns. Basically, the amount that they've paid on a monthly basis, the actual charges that they've incurred, and the net difference. In other words, the deficiency each and every month. So if you go back to that March of 2021 date through the end of August, they've had, if I understand it correctly, they've had total charges of $1,504,213.21, which has been offset by payments of $397,500.
Okay, so I think that I was actually looking at the chart. When I redid the sum of all the chart of what they paid, it was actually $533,000. Whoever did the sum thing there didn't get all the way to the top. Didn't get all the way to the current date, I think, unless I made a mistake there.
But the amount billed is correct.
I do think the amount billed is correct.
So 1,504,000, and then you said
533.
So 533. So roughly, they owe us 971.
I think that's in the order. I mean, we might be within a few $10,000 there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's roughly 970.
That's
as opposed to the 1.4 or 1.5.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's correct.
All right. So that establishes the amount. One thing
and that's as of the end of August. That number changes every month.
Yes. And along those lines, it's the deficiency each and every month. Well, the smallest deficiency that we've had so far in in 2025 was 20,289.
Right.
The largest we've had has been 28,853.
That's correct.
And when you compare those month to month figures, the August 2025 to August 2024, the February 2025 to February 2024, the average monthly deficiency has grown, if my numbers are right, 84% since last year, since the numbers last year. So, that's concerning because that says our problem's getting worse instead of better, if my math is right. So they're on pace for that to grow at an annualized rate of their deficiency of about 36% over the year. They're at 24% so far for this year. Well, I say that now. You had a larger number, that 500,000 compared to that 397. So that's going to affect it some. But at any rate, it's probably still growing.
It is. I mean, when you just compare the volume sold, I mean, the number is going up. It's not going down.
Yeah. So
Why is their usage going up so much? Is that leakage?
It has to be.
Because it's going up by 20% from last year to this year?
Right. Yeah. So their usage is continuing to rise instead of.
So it's pouring out on the ground, what you're saying? They're not-
Yes.
It's not going into chicken houses or.
I mean, I can't say that for certain, but I would. I mean,
Are they able to turn on new poultry houses and things of that nature with their system right now?
I don't. I mean, I would. I don't know if that's being reviewed by any regulatory agency, but I would be uncomfortable if I was them allowing anybody like that to connect to my system with my system in the shape that theirs is in. So
they don't have a meter freeze or anything like that.
I don't know if they do. We do not.
You're not in operations.
Into their we don't interfere with their operations. That's right.
So, I think we truly did need to memorialize this in an agreement. No question about that. I think what I would suggest we do, however, with that agreement, I think we need to probably define some parameters in terms of what's our dollar amount that we're willing to go up to. Now, keep in mind, we can define that now. And if for whatever reason the situation warrants that we need to adjust that, of course, we can make an educated decision at that point in time, but define an upward dollar amount. And then I think it's also important to define a time frame. The agreement as it's drawn up states it's for a 60-day term, but then it's on 30-day, month-to-month renewals. And if that's the case, if I understand correctly, the council doesn't review it again. So I think that we have a responsibility to our citizens to look at this on a recurring basis. Therefore, I would say, in addition to establishing a dollar limit, we also establish a time limit, a maturity date, if you will, for the loan, because that's what this is. It is a loan. Now, what's the proper term for that? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? I wouldn't suggest that we go out longer than 1 year. That doesn't mean that we expect them to have it repaid in 1 year. That's not going to happen for a decade or more, without question. But what that gives us is a time to see what sort of progress has been made. What are their trends in terms of their water loss? Is it improving? Is it getting worse? And again, we can make an educated decision at that point, working side by side with them to try to address it. So a dollar limit, a time limit. I think it's also important to third. There was some mention within the agreement of sending them an annual bill. Well, I think they're going to owe us $1 million plus. We need to send them a monthly bill for sure.
And we do. We send them a monthly.
Okay. So we want to make sure that they're aware at all points in time.
That's right.
And then fourth, we really, that maturity as far as the time frame is concerned will help us understand what are they doing, what can they do to explore other funding options, whether those are at the state level, federal level. They may not exist, but I know what you're saying is right. They're working really hard to address this, but we really got to look under every single rock to make sure that if there's funding that's available to address the issue, that they're going after. And then finally, the fifth thing that I would suggest is, I know we're audited. I assume they're audited. And when I'm looking at a loan request, the most important thing that I have to look at first and foremost is, can my borrower repay? And I think that audit would help us understand those cash flows that are coming in, because if there's never ever any hope of repayment, not to say that we would ever turn that off, but we just need to be informed of what the realistic expectations of repayment would be.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with the agreement. I just think we kind of need to tweak it just a little bit.
Okay. Tim, did you take notes?
I got a few, but I always holler back at Rob.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess with this being said, to set these parameters, I would think that possibility, you guys give me some guideline on this, do we need to go ahead and go through with this tonight, or table it and come back with those parameters? Mr. Knightson, what is your?
I mean, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Just table it for right now and come back with those.
Is there any urgency?
No,
we have
no urgency.
I don't think there's huge urgency, but we do. I think that would probably be the best thing to do. So let's just table this and let's try to set those parameters and come back.
I guess the only question I might have for you guys is, of course, you said a year on to kind of bring back and
That's just
review.
an arbitrary date.
Right. Same thing, like on the dollar amount, like what,
How far are we willing?
like how far do you? Essentially at the rate we're going, there, you might as well say on average of, $22,000 or $23,000 a month,
$250,000 a time.
So yeah, so we're probably talking about in a year's time, it's going to change by $250,000, $300,000, unless something. I do know they have a project that's about to take place, and the hope is that project's it's not going to solve their problems, but it hopefully will have an impact. And when that's completed, I don't know the time frame for that, how long it'll take for them to get all that work done. But we might see in 6 months from now, it might be really different, and fingers crossed that it is.
I'm just trying to back into a number.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can skin this, but if they can pay $11,500 a month, if we say that a reasonable repayment period of that is 10 years at no interest, which we're leaving some money on the table to doing that. 10 years is $1,380,000.
Okay.
If we went to 15 years, that's $2,070,000.
Okay.
So that $1,380,000, that gives them a little bit of room if they're at 900 right now.
Okay.
I don't know if there's an exact science,
Yeah.
but that gives them some room. And
Okay. That makes sense. I just didn't want to Tim and I to be trying to guess what to do there. And I appreciate you guys talking about it, and I kind of felt like it's been like a heavy problem that I don't want to be the only one worrying with. So.
Yeah. Well, but let's go ahead and move forward, and like I said, let's send that, and we'll send it back to Mr. Knightson and Damon. And like I said, when we come up with those numbers, we can send them back out to the council and let them review them. And if you guys have any concerns before the next council meeting, make sure you let that be known. So we don't want to get here at the next council meeting and be where we are right now.
Yeah.
Be ready for a resolution that we can all feel comfortable with.
Okay.
That makes fair. Thank you, Damon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I know you got a lot on your plate right now. You got a few projects, and I guess you guys can see right now, infrastructure is a very expensive for any type of community, but it is a necessity for a growing community. And there's so many cities, not just small cities like the city of Cushman, but there are so many even larger cities or they're kind of behind the eight ball on their water infrastructure. And, you know, you hear this all the time, Democrat Gazette, there's always a city that is challenged with that. So I appreciate our willingness to move forward and make infrastructure a priority. All right, let's move on to the next. Next on the agenda is consider a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a loan agreement for the expansion and improvement of series of mountain bike trails. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I would.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Council, please cast your votes.
It was a mistake.
If I won't let you go back, then I can. That you did both.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Meissen.
Resolution authorizing the acceptance of a loan agreement for the expansion and improvement of the series of mountain bike trails.
Any discussion? Not, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Motion and second. Mr. Moody. Council, please cast your votes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Now we're moving into, next on the agenda is consider resolution, declare a blighted area. This all has to do with our neighbors just across the street, the Grays building. I think a few of you came to that, and I know I greatly appreciate Mitzi with White River Plain Development helping us work through this. This is basically what this is. I think we have about 2 or 3 resolutions, and the main thing, there's certain steps to get this thing cleaned up, and then the next step we'll be taking as we progress. We'll keep everybody informed. But with that being said, would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
No worries.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay, Mr. Meissen, please read the resolution by title only.
Yes, sir. Resolution declaring the blighted area.
Any discussion? Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion a second. Ms. Hinkle, please cast your votes. Okay, motion did carry. Next on the agenda is a resolution authorizing chief elected official to sign the application for the CDBG funds. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved.
Second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay. Mr. Meissen?
Sir, resolution is authorizing chief elected official to sign an application for CD.
Okay, any discussion? Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion. Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay, next, consider a resolution authorizing the mayor of Batesville to enter into an administrative agreement with White River Planning and Development District Incorporated. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Please cast your votes, council. Okay, Mr. Meissen?
Sir, resolution authorizing the mayor of Batesville, Arkansas to enter into an administrative agreement with White River Planning and Development District.
Any discussion? Not, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes. Okay. Okay, next on the is an executive session for appointments or reappointments. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Roberts, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, we are in executive session. Okay, we have a couple of reappointments, and one appointment. I guess let's see. Have Parks and Recreation reappointment. Who has Mr. Roberts?
All right. Want to make a motion for reappointment of Mr. Jonathan Burgess to a term on Parks and Rec Advisory Committee.
Okay, have a motion for,
I would second.
have a motion and a second for Mr. Jonathan Burgess. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, next we have someone to resign from the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we do have a recommendation for, to fill his term. And Mr. Moody, I think you have that one.
It's my pleasure to nominate Jeffrey Friart for Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, Mr. Jeffrey Fryer. Have a second on that?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, guys, you're running late. Well, the voices are getting quiet right now. So, all right, let's go into the next was August 2025 financials. Like always, if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to give myself or Miss Davis a call or drop by. So I'm going to go into mayor comments. Next meeting will be September the 23rd. And this Friday, September the 12th, you guys, we will host a drop-in retirement reception for Miss Brenda Hedrick, who is retiring from the water utilities with 20 years of service, and Miss Lori Perron, who is retiring from the clerk's office with 8 years of service. So, like I said, this is going to be, what time? Did I have that?
I believe it starts at 11.
11 o'clock. Yeah, I believe 11 o'clock. If anything changes, also we'll have Jennifer send out everybody a reminder on that. Another thing, appointment, I was going to, not appointment, but there will be this is RDOT organized this, not the chamber. I was asked today, why did we do this? Because we're not completely finished with the roundabout is finished, but there's still road work to continue on Myers. But this was by RDOT. They are the ones that scheduled this. So that ribbon cutting will be Thursday at 11 o'clock on the 11th. So if you can, and we'll be in the south parking lot of the community center. I don't think we're going to be in the middle of the roundabout. It's going to be on the south side of that. So please come out if you can. It's going to be a beautiful day, maybe a little warm by that time. All right, let's move on to liaison reports. If we don't have any, we'll go to council comments. Miss Davis?
Miss Hinkle?
None.
Miss Hubbard? None. Mr. Cruz? Mr. Moody? Mr. Reeves?
None.
Mr. Roberts?
None.
Okay, one other thing, let me back up a little bit. First Community Bank is hosting, if anyone is interested in this, it's called First Lead with Purpose. It's a day designed specifically for leaders. It starts at Friday, October the 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lunch will be provided, and it will be at the University of Arkansas at Independence Hall. And the keynote speakers will be Mark Miller and Randy Gravitt, co-founders of Lead Every Day. So if you are interested in that, just contact Miss Davis or Jennifer, and we'll get you enrolled for this, or you can do it yourself. I'll try to send this out as well. So if you want to RSVP yourself. So I think it's a good program, and I appreciate the bank sponsoring this. Okay, if there's no further business, there's a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. I think